basketball on the Sportsmax Zone. Playoff basketball marches on, and where there is high-level basketball, there's bound to be many talking points. And the Golden State Warriors certainly provided the world with some on Thursday as they produced a dominant display to convincingly beat the Los Angeles Lakers to level their Western Conference semifinal series at 1 game apiece. Let's check out the highlights.
Having already earned a split at Golden State, the LA Lakers looking to go up 2-0 against Steph Curry and the champs. There's a look at LeBron before the game. Here's a look at LeBron during the game, starting off hot, knocking down the three-pointer, giving the Lakers the lead 14-12. Then LeBron taking it coast to coast and spinning for the layup. He had 14 points in the opening quarter, Lakers by 6. Klay Thompson hot in this game, though, and Steph Curry setting him up perfectly. Knocks down the three. Then Steph Curry drives to the little head fake there, and then a tough, hanging layup. Just an impossible shot from Steph, and Golden State up. Shot clock winding down. LeBron James banks in the deep fadeaway three. He had 23.7 rebounds in the game. That tied it at 40 points apiece. We mentioned earlier that Klay Thompson had it going in this game, and boy did he. Draymond Green gets it to him, and Klay hits the three-pointer here. Then Andrew Wiggins recognizing the hot hand. Klay Thompson, another three. He had 19 points at the half, and Golden State comfortably up at that point, 63-50. Meanwhile, Anthony Davis struggling, throws the pass out of bounds. Then Davis loses the handle and turns it over. Then Davis misses the floater. Then Davis misses another floater. Then Davis misses the jumper. He had 11 points on 5 of 11 shooting with 4 turnovers in the entire game. Golden State was up 11 at the half. Warriors taking control in the third like they so often do. JaMychal Green, a star in this game. Later, Andrew Wiggins gets it to Klay Thompson for the transition three. Klay pumped about it. Golden State up 18 at that point. More from the Dubs. Draymond Green, little layup here off the Steph Curry dime that Donte DiVincenzo swings it to Klay, who, again, he carried the Warriors in this one. 30 points, 8 of 11 on threes. Golden State up 97-74. Then Donte DiVincenzo dives on the floor, gets the ball to Andrew Wiggins, swings it to Steph, and that's an impossible three. And even Steph's own father, Del Curry, can't believe that one. Just a great, great shot from the greatest shooter of all time. Warriors moving the ball. Draymond Green hands it to Steph Curry for the three-pointer and the foul. Steph, 20 points, 12 assists in the game. He'd make the free throw there. Of course he would. This series is even at 1 game apiece and headed back to LA. Golden State wins it 127-100.
All right, our NBA expert, Alister Albert, joins us. Alister, good afternoon.
Hi there, good afternoon. Happy Friday to all.
Yeah, man, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, has this series been living up to your high expectations so far? Because, of course, remember, coming into it, a lot of discussions, the 2 greatest players. Are you happy with what you're seeing?
Yeah, well, happy, I suppose it's relative. In terms of, for me as an analyst...
Because he's a Lakers.
Yeah, no, not a Lakers fan. It's relative in terms of me as an analyst now, watching games and watching the series and wanting to see the entertainment, wanting to see the storylines develop. It's definitely met my expectations for these first 2 games. It's still pretty early in the series. You know what? I remember there was a couple of appearances ago. Sorry, I lost my voice there. A couple of appearances, some appearances ago, where I said I kind of likened the Lakers season to a little bit of like a high level or high stakes game of snakes and ladders. You know, they kind of went up and down at the start of the season up until the trade deadline. And then after the trade deadline, they kind of zoomed up all these ladders to kind of get to the 7th seed where they are. And, you know, playing a really, really good basketball, beating the Grizzlies and everything. And now we saw after game 2, coming down a really long ladder for them. Having a disappointing loss against the Golden State Warriors as they did in game 2. And the Warriors on the other side, you know, they played a lot of Jekyll and Hyde, you know, throughout the season. And you've seen them kind of switch into that championship level basketball and playing, you know, at a level that scares everyone in the league. And no one should be scared about the Warriors because they're the defending champs. But because of how they played the season, being as bad on the road as they are, you know, they've just kind of kicked into gear right now. And Steph Curry showed 2 different sides of his game. being an excellent scorer in the first one, and being a facilitator in the second one. So yeah, it's living up to my expectations. A lot of different things are being met, and it's good to see.
But you called the Lakers to win this one, right? And I remember when we were predicting. That's why I said that, because I remember you saying Lakers in 6.
And there was a little bit of peer pressure from Ricardo, who wanted me to see.
Well, he's off now and you're fine. He's on a vacation somewhere. So you don't need...
I'm sticking with the prediction of Lakers in 6. I think the Lakers could still pull this out. The outcome for the series so far kind of has been a little bit inverted for me. I thought the Warriors would have won game 1 after how good they played against the Kings and coming out with that momentum, and the Lakers would have won game 2, but it happened the other way around. But yeah, I'm still here with Lakers in 6. I think going home for the next game, I think the crowd will be into it. I think the Warriors might have a little bit of a hard time. The Lakers will make the adjustments, the defensive adjustments, to kind of cater for facilitating Steph Curry and kind of keep a lot of what they did in game 1 to kind of slow him down. So I think the Lakers have a good chance to win game 3, and we kind of go on from there.
Speaking about adjustments, last night the Lakers were trying to match the Warriors with this high-tempo game. Did they play into Golden State's hands by doing that? And is that the key adjustment that they have to make going into Game 3?
On the contrary, I don't think so. I think these two teams were the in the top 3 in the NBA in pace this year. I think the Lakers were second and the Warriors were third. So they are both very transition heavy teams. They kind of finish in a different manner, where the Warriors will come down the court and shoot threes, and the Lakers will get to the basket. You have guys like LeBron and AD, lob passes, and everyone finishing at the rim a lot more. But in terms of playing into the hands of the Warriors, I don't think so. I think the Lakers have shown over the last couple of years, one of the things they're really good at is running the courts, even with a 38-year-old LeBron James. The adjustments I think they needed to make is a lot more mental. I thought what they did in game 1, there was a blueprint there in terms of Jared Vanderbilt, chasing Steph Curry, hard closeouts on screens from Anthony Davis, LeBron James, on Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and everyone else. What I saw last night was a team that gave up. I think they thought, we're just 2 games into on the road. We just need to win 1. They got that game 1 and they switched off. After the third quarter, when the Golden State Warriors, kind of blitzed them, I think they kind of gave up. There was a lot of lackadaisical defensive footwork. Anthony Davis, primarily, I would say. He wasn't closing out on screens after the primary defender on Steph Curry was screened, and Klay Thompson got open for quite a lot of shots, as we see in this video here. So I think what they need to do is just get back on focus, and being at home, role players and the guys will play a lot better.
Yeah, you mentioned Anthony Davis there. One of the things that I didn't like about what I saw last night, you mentioned, you alluded to it a while ago, but he wasn't even. Look, he's a center of that team. Yeah. He didn't play like a center last night. He played like anything but. I mean, he didn't close down. He didn't block shots. I mean, we've seen Anthony Davis play a lot better than this. Are you convinced that he's the player that will take the Lakers to the next title? Because as a Laker fan and watching for the last couple of years, I'm not convinced that he is.
Right. Well, I think, I think he still is, but I don't think he's the main piece. Although throughout the season I've said, I believe LeBron needs to kind of pass that torch on and let Anthony Davis be the best player on this team to kind of propel them to where they need to go. I think after the trade and, the team that they constructed and the chemistry they were able to build in such a short space of time, you have D'Angelo Russell, who people forget was a former All-Star. You have Rui Hachimura, who many people didn't even really think about as an offensive player, but he's kind of stepped into this series and shown that, and into these playoffs and shown that he's a productive scorer, with jump shots and getting to the rim and everything. Austin Reeves has kind of stepped up and, played such a remarkable brand of basketball that he's kind of in a position to get a high contract offer from many teams around the NBA. So I think what it is, it's Anthony Davis definitely stepping in and being one of the main cogs alongside LeBron, of course, but the other guys kind of stepping in and kind of playing that complete team basketball that I think Darvin Ham has been able to get from them after the trade deadline this season. So Anthony Davis definitely, there can't be another what was it, 11.7 rebounds, 4 assist games. He needs to be up in the 20s, closer to 30s, and maybe 12, 13 rebounds a game. So hopefully he could get back to that sort of average for him type of production, and the Lakers will be in better shape moving forward.
Yeah, well, the Warriors and Lakers aren't the only series finally poised so far. The Philadelphia 76ers will welcome the Boston Celtics to town, and the big story in this game will be the health of newly crowned NBA MVP Joel Embiid. Alister, what are we expecting from him?
Oh, newly minted MVP Joel
Does he play?
Embiid, pardon?
Does he play for you?
Does he play for me? Well, he does. Well, and I think it's another thing very similar to Anthony Davis. It's all mental for me. I think he comes on the courts at times, and when you see he's focused and he wants to kind of make a point, he will. And I think he did that towards the end of the season to earn that MVP crown. Coming back off that injury. Again, I think maybe very similarly to what happened with the Lakers, they won that first game. They figured, let's pace ourselves. We'll get back home and everything will be all right, possibly. He's going to get the MVP trophy probably awarded to him on the court. The crowd will be behind them. The Philadelphia crowd is amazing. So I think he's probably waiting for that boost of being back home to kind of come up. So I think he will play really good. James Harden and Tyrese Maxey need to step up from game 2 performance. And they're going to give the Celtics a little bit of a hard battle, I think, in this game. So I think I like their chances in game 3, but they need to go out on the court and do it.
I think last night when you watch a game, actually, you look at the 76ers look better when he wasn't on the court. Given what we saw in game 1 when James Harden took over the scoring and scored 40 plus points and to lead them to victory, given the knee sprain that he's coming off, Embiid that is, should the 76ers take the chance of probably resting him some more and trying to win game 3 without him? Or do they put him back in and suffer a similar fate to what happened in last game?
I think what the 76ers did, they made the wrong decision. I thought they should have rested him for game 2, because what they did was they won that first game of James Harden. They should have given James Harden another game to kind of replicate in some sort of manner what happened in game 1 into game 2, and then from there you kind of decide what happens moving on into game 3, where where Embiid could come back in with another day of rest. I don't think at this point right now they could be resting Embiid anymore. What they might have to do is within game is monitor his minutes and him pacing himself. But James Harden absolutely needs to step up and be closer to the player that we saw in game 1, and Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, the guys who really stepped up in that first game need to just do the same and kind of come out a little sharper at home. The crowd will be there. I'm sure Allen Iverson will be in the front row. Dr. J will be in the front. It will be around. The stadium will be jumping, and they need to kind of put forth a prideful effort to kind of be in the position to win game 3. And I think they'll do that. I think they'll be a little more balanced. Joel Embiid, for me, what I saw with Joel Embiid that made me think that he was still at a good level of play was the 5 blocks that he had. Defensively, he was there. He was getting up and he was playing really good defensive basketball, although he didn't rebound too well. But they showed that he showed that he still has energy in those legs, and with the game 3 crowd behind him, I think he'll be all right.
Right, and of course there's still another marquee game to play on Friday, where the Denver Nuggets will be traveling to Phoenix to take on the Suns, who will be hoping to get on the board in the series, with the Nuggets leading the series 2-0. Alister, do you see that happening? And we just have to keep in mind Chris Paul getting the groin injury, so it's not as if things aren't getting better.
Yeah, things are starting to get dramatically worse for them, and now they're starting to look at that trade, with an eye in Brooklyn and wondering, did they do the right thing?
Yeah.
CP3 is going to be out for about a week, like they said. And people who watch basketball really closely, all the basketball aficionados will say that this is the yearly injury situation for Chris Paul. At a critical time in the playoffs, he will get injured, and he did that again here, with the groin injury, going up for a rebound in that game. And yeah, it's unfortunate because they're a team that many think have the potential to get back to the finals. And it's unfortunate that he's been in that situation. And as Kevin Durant came over from the Nets, what happened with Chris Paul is I thought his body would probably get an opportunity to rest because you could facilitate to Booker, you could facilitate to Ayton and KD, and be a bit of a jump shooter, which he said he was doing a lot more of. But he kind of overextended himself and did that. So I don't like their chances. I don't say it's a sweep. They probably will win at least 1 or 2 games, I think, maybe. But I don't like the chances in the series. And I had the Nuggets beating them anyway in 6 or 7 games. So that's where it's going to go.
Okay, well, Alister, of course, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk some basketball on Monday. I'm sure we'll have a lot of talking points then.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Enjoy the weekend, guys, and look forward to next week.
Take it easy.
Thanks so much, Alister Albert, our NBA expert. It's break time now on the Sports Max Zone.